25 fascinating polar bear facts. 1. They're the biggest land-dwelling carnivores. Polar bears, primarily meat-eaters and weighing more than 1,300 pounds, are the largest terrestrial carnivores. Their weight varies significantly with the seasons, often gaining 50% more during hunting periods and losing it during fasting months. 2. Technically, they're marine mammals. Polar bears are considered marine mammals due to their extensive time spent on ice, hunting, courting, and mating far from land. 3. They occupy a higher position on the food chain than humans. Despite common perception, humans are lower on the food chain than apex predators like polar bears, which have no natural enemies and a higher risk of human conflict due to food scarcity. 4. Polar bears predominantly lead solitary lives. Apart from a cub's initial years with its mother, polar bears mostly live alone, hunt alone, and use smells from their feet to find other bears for mating. 5. But sometimes they don't mind sharing. Polar bears sometimes hang out in groups, especially when there's a lot of food, and they can play fight and even remember friends they haven't seen for years. 6. They are fussy about what they eat. Polar bears prefer to eat only the fattiest parts of seals when food is abundant, but they will eat almost anything when food is insufficient. However, without access to fat-rich seals due to melting Arctic ice, their survival on land could be threatened. 7. They go without eating for long periods. Polar bears, especially pregnant ones, can go without food for many months, and this fasting period may increase as sea ice melts and hunting opportunities decrease. 8. They will go a long way to find food. Polar bears can travel very long distances, even up to 2,300 miles in a year, to find food, and with melting ice they have to walk more, which uses a lot of energy, sometimes more than they get from the food they find. 9. Polar bears can swim non-stop for several days. Polar bears are good swimmers, often swimming long distances due to melting ice, with one recorded swimming 426 miles in 9 days and losing a lot of her body weight. 10. They quickly become overheated. Polar bears, designed for extreme cold with thick fur and body fat, can overheat easily, especially when they run, so they move slowly on land and often hunt by staying still and waiting for prey. 11. They've been mating with grizzly bears. Climate change is making polar bears spend more time on land where they meet grizzly bears, and in some places like Alaska and Western Canada, they are having babies together, creating mixed species. 12. They increase in size significantly in their initial months. Polar bears are born very small, similar to guinea pigs, but they grow quickly, and by 8 months old, they can weigh 100 pounds or more. 13. Their feet are really big. Polar bears have big feet with special features like bumpy footpads and long, curved claws to help them walk on ice and catch slippery seals. 14. They don't sleep through the winter. Unlike other bears that sleep all winter, polar bears stay active because they can find food, but female polar bears do make dens and stay inside when they are pregnant until their cubs are ready to go outside. 15. They enjoy sleeping during heavy snow. Polar bears dig pits in the snow to stay warm during winter storms and dig down to cool permafrost in the summer to avoid getting too hot. 16. It's really difficult to follow their movements. Scientists use satellite technology and radio collars to track polar bears' movements, as they often travel alone in remote and harsh weather conditions. 17. Their noses shut when they are in the water. Polar bears can close their nostrils when swimming, allowing them to dive deep and hold their breath for more than 2 minutes to sneak up on seals. 18. They can change to green color when kept in a zoo. Polar bears are not actually white, their hair is colorless and looks white due to light scattering, but their skin is black, and they can appear green in humid climates due to algae growth inside their hollow fur. 19. They will never come across a penguin. Despite what we often see in advertisements, polar bears and penguins never meet in the wild. Polar bears live only in the Arctic, while penguins are found only in the southern hemisphere. 20. In a certain zoo, their poop has glitter in it. At the Assiniboine Park Zoo in Canada, zookeepers feed polar bears glitter of different colors to trace their poop and check their health, with each color indicating which bear the poop came from. 21. European people have had polar bears as pets since the 1200s. Since the Middle Ages, captive polar bears have fascinated people, with examples like a bear in 1200s London allowed to swim in the Thames River, and a declawed bear in 17th century Prussia made to fight other animals for entertainment. 22. Taking pictures with polar bears was once a favorite activity in Germany. From 1920 to 1960 in Germany, it was a common trend to take pictures with people dressed in polar bear costumes, possibly due to the popularity of polar bears in the Berlin Zoo or as a marketing strategy by Fanta during World War II. 23. They can cause mixed opinions. Canute, an orphaned polar bear cub raised by zookeepers at the Berlin Zoological Garden in 2006, became a global sensation and boosted the zoo's profits, but also sparked controversy among animal rights groups. 24. They are sometimes treated like stars. In 2007, famous polar bear Canute was photographed by Annie Leibovitz for Vanity Fair's Green issue, later memorialized with a bronze statue at the Berlin Zoo and a preserved display at the city's Natural History Museum. After his death. 25. The town of Churchill in Manitoba, Canada, has its own special method of coexisting with polar bears. Churchill, a town in Canada, is known as the polar bear capital of the world, where locals have adapted unique measures like keeping car doors unlocked and having a polar bear jail to manage the large number of bears passing through during the fall,